Hey everyone! Sorry, I know it has been quite some time since I've posted a video. We have been in the process of moving across the country from North Carolina to the state of Washington, and that has taken up a tremendous amount of time. We're finally getting settled in though, and I finally got my little painting space that I've worked out here in the house. Got it set up and organized over this past weekend, so hopefully I can get back to painting a little bit more, getting videos posted a little bit more often. I just FYI, they may not be posted as often as some of you all would like. For those of you who don't know, I do homeschool two of our granddaughters that we are raising, and so right at the moment we are really playing catch up with school because of a lot. We ended up not getting near as much school done as we should have over the last couple of months, thanks to moving, and it's just been crazy. So we're playing catch up with school and doing some extra time on that right now, so I don't have nearly as much time as I would like to paint. And you know, unfortunately doing the voiceovers and things for the videos take some time too, so I'm really sorry if I'm not getting them out there as quickly as you all would like, but I will try to do better than I have for the last couple of months at least anyway. Alright, so we'll see how this goes. This is my first time using my new space here. It feels a little awkward to me right now because I have not painted in this space, and I feel like I'm turned the wrong way, and everything just feels awkward and unwieldy to me at the moment. So we'll see how this works. Hopefully I'll get used to it fairly soon. For those of you guys who have not seen one of the other videos where I've shown it, let me show you this. I hope you can see it because I can't really tell right now. This is what I'm using to move my hair with. It is a curling brush hair dryer. It's a Revlon brand. It's got a high heat, a low heat, and a cool setting on it. I generally use the cool setting. I do occasionally use one of the heat settings if I have an area that I just want to dry really quickly and don't want to keep manipulating the ink much in that area. I did get this off of Amazon. I will try to remember to put the link to it in the description on this video, because you guys just would not believe how many times I get asked what is that tool that I'm using to move the hair. So that's what it is. It's just a curling brush hair dryer with the brush attachment removed. It had like a round brush end on it right there that I just popped off, and I'm using it just like this, and it works great. I'm also, at the moment, I'm using 91% isopropyl alcohol. I do have a little bit of 99% that I use as well, but right now I'm trying to finish up some of this 91% that I have so that I can order some more 99. I can't really decide which one I like better, but sometimes I feel like the 99 does a little bit better on the little sort of water spots. That's the only thing I know to call them that get in there sometimes. That maybe with a little purer alcohol it tends to dry better. Alright, I'm using all Ranger by Tim Holtz today. I'm going to do Cool Peri, Patina, and Wild Plum are going to be the colors. Don't know why, that just jumped out as an interesting color combination to me. So that's what I'm going to be using, along with some Pinata Brass, which I put out in one of these little quilling bottles, which also came off of Amazon. Because I obviously don't want to pour it out of this, so I use a quilling bottle. I don't I've tried the pipettes, and I don't work well with pipettes. I end up with way too much stuff on my paper if I do that. Same for my alcohol. I put it in a little quilling bottle to use. This, don't ask me what this is, because I don't know. I have no idea. Just some little thing that I saw in Hobby Lobby one day and went, ooh, that looks cool. I bet I could use that for all kinds of different little crafty purposes. And I've actually turned out to use it more for this than anything else. I use the back end of it pretty frequently when I'm trying to spread out ink in a little spot and I can't get it to go just where I want. I'll just kind of tap on it a little with this, and works great. Alright, let's see. Today I'm using Grafix craft plastic. This is a 9x12. It's the Grafix Opaque White craft plastic. It comes in a few different sizes. My intention was to use Yupo today, but apparently I somehow lost all of my Yupo pads in our move, which has just about made me sick because it is way more expensive than the craft plastic. But somehow the craft plastic made it to Washington and all of my Yupo pads did not. So I don't know where they are. And somewhere in North Carolina, I'm assuming, because we now have everything unpacked and I haven't found them. Which means I'm going to be doing some shopping. Alright, so I'm going to get started on this, and I'm planning on leaving this video in real time because I get so many requests from people to please do that, and so I will leave this in real time. It may turn out to be pretty long. I just never know how long it's going to take me to do a painting, so I will do my best not to drag it out too long. And I will be doing a voiceover on this one, just to give you a better idea of what I'm doing at times, because as I learned, I cannot do this and tell you while I'm painting because the hairdryer is way too loud. You guys, I know if any of you have watched that one video, you can't hear hardly anything that I'm saying because it's just crazy loud. So, and hopefully the fans that I have on in here in the room that I'm painting in are not too loud. I'm trying to keep some of the alcohol fumes cleared out. So I will get started. Alright, I was right before I'm doing this voiceover, I was listening to the intro and the outro that I had done when I did the painting. This is actually a few days later, before I had a chance to do this voiceover. And so let me apologize to you guys right now for the fact that I say about 100 times in every video. I will probably keep on doing it because I'm not sure how to stop myself. It's organizing my thoughts, and part of the time it's when one of the girls comes in the room and they're making hand motions at me, or trying to get my attention or let me know something or ask me something without interrupting me, and I'm trying to figure out what they're doing, what they've got going on there and what they need, while trying to keep my mind on whatever it is that I'm saying in the video. So I'm really sorry for that. And I know that's terrible. That would just it drove me crazy listening to it, and it was me that did it. So I apologize. You'll probably hear it more today. So anyway, sorry about that. All right, so most of you guys have seen enough of my videos by now to kind of understand a little bit, or you've seen others' videos to understand a little bit what's going on. I will either put down some alcohol first or put down some ink first and then put the alcohol on it. For me, with this Grafix craft plastic, doesn't really seem to make any difference for me which one I put down first. If I'm using Yupo, I always put the alcohol down first. because the Yupo stains so much more than this craft plastic does, which basically the craft plastic really doesn't stain at all. I've had just a couple of minor little places at times that I couldn't entirely get the color off of it if I was trying to take something off. But for the most part, it comes back snow white again if you want to put the effort into it to clean it off. And yes, there I am thinking, what the heck am I supposed to do now? I have no idea. This was the first, I think I said this in the intro, but this was the first painting that I have done in the new space. And everything just felt off to me. It was really disconcerting, I guess is the word. I'm not sure what it is. I'm starting to get used to it now, but it was, I don't know, it just felt strange because I was facing a different direction. It's just a whole different space. My setup is a little different. My inks are in a different spot. I have to actually plug my hairdryer in behind me and trail the cord around beside because there's nowhere to plug it in on the other side of the table. And it just feels kind of awkward. And so it was like, I don't know, it was throwing everything off for me. I just was struggling with everything, although I'm kind of struggling right now. Excuse me, kind of struggling right now as it is. I'm having a hard time kind of getting back into the painting mode. I see up there was another so I'm sorry. I had to stop painting for so long while we were moving that it really just kind of, I don't know, I had a hard time, or am having a hard time, kind of feeling inspired. I want to paint, and then I sit down and look at the paper and go, geez, I have no idea what to do. And there's been a few paintings that I've tried to do in the last couple of days that I'm just really not happy with. You all won't see them because I didn't video them, but I'm not sure I would have put those videos on. Even though I said I would share the bad with the good, they really are not. So even though even if I have videoed, I'm not sure you'd get to see them. All right, so here's one thing on the painting I wanted to mention. This, where I'm using 3 different colors. These colors that I'm using here are all pretty compatible, so it's not as bad with this. But when you see how I dried each of my spots and then went back to start kind of spreading them out and wisping them a little, making them work outwards. When you're blending 2 colors together, most of you may already know this, but I'm going to mention it for anybody who just hasn't really thought about that. You really, really do not want to overwork the ink where your colors meet. However, I personally like to make sure that I have at least one strip in there that kind of has a little bit of both of the colors that are side by side. It's a little bit tricky to do without overworking them, but what you need to do is, kind of get your alcohol in the meeting spot where your colors come together, and then blow it out. Try to blow it fairly straight out so that you're getting both colors coming out. And then as you blow it back in, you just kind of have to play this by ear. You want to move it, sort of keep coming at it from the sides a little bit, but also, straight back in towards where you blew from. You just kind of have to watch. And if you can do that correctly, you'll end up with this, beautiful blend of colors in one little wispy area. It is a little bit tricky to do, and I have had to add more ink to things in the past to kind of get that blend like I wanted. But sorry, I'm laughing at one of my granddaughters. She came in here with a big red mustache on her face from something. So it's from what? Oh, she made it herself out of slime. So okay. Yes, what can I say? We're an interesting family. So, all right. Anyway, back to the color blends. Uh, you can. It's just one of those things you kind of have to practice on. It's, like I said, it's a little bit tricky to not overwork it too, because if you don't like the way it looks and you keep trying to fix it, eventually with some of these colors you're just going to end up with mud, or you're going to end up with, like with purple and pink, they're going to blend well together and it's going to make a pretty color, but you're not going to see this sort of gradation, is that the word? You're not going to see that where in the wisp, for lack of a better term, it's going to all be one color, even though it's going to be different from either of the other two. But I like to kind of see variations of both colors in there together. So, working with the pink and the any of the blue greens, the aquas, and there's aqua and patina and stream and pool and all these. Well, not so much pool maybe, but anyway, the ones that have a hint of green are a little trickier when you're doing with reds and pinks, as you know, because red and green, you don't want to end up with a big brown patch. Well, you might, but if that's not what you're going for, you got to be really careful about those non-complementary colors blending together. So let's see. When I'm not working on a video, I think of 100 things that I want to be sure to mention to you all, and as soon as I start working on a voiceover for a video, and this has been this way since I began, I flat out can't think of anything. I can't remember anything that I was wanting to tell you. Oh, let me apologize also for the first part of this video where I was showing you my hair dryer that I use. Like I said before, it's the first time I've used this area and this weird little setup that I've got to prop my phone on, because I do my videos with my phone. And I did not realize until I had went back today and watched the intro that it was out of the screen partly. Half of the hair dryer, the alcohol bottle are not in the picture, and I'm really sorry about that. But like I'd said, I will put the link to the Amazon page where I got that video, or the hairdryer, so that you all can see it. And any of you out there like me who have arthritis, this is much, much better than using just the regular hairdryer with a handle. I really, when I first started doing this, was using a regular, small sized hairdryer with a handle, and it was just absolutely killing my hand. I was having a terrible time with it. So this round one is so much easier to hold. I don't have to really grip it, and I can the button slides easily with my thumb. I just really like it. So I highly recommend it, or one like it, especially if you do have any sort of problems with your hands or your joints, or anything that would cause you to easily get in pain from gripping and squeezing something quite a bit, or holding something at an awkward angle. This one does not do that to me at all. Excuse me. The air, I'm getting used to this dry desert air where we are in Washington. Like I'm just choking all the time. My throat stays dry constantly. It's a very arid area where we moved to. We're nowhere near Seattle and up north where it stays damp all the time. We're down in southern Washington where it's just very arid, deserty type area down here. Let's see. Keep on. There was the again. Keep on sending me your questions, your comments. I love looking over them. I will try my best to always get back to you if you have a question. It may take me a day or two. It just depends on what we have going on, especially with school going full force right now. I don't always. Sometimes I'll have a chance to read them, and then it's like, oh, I don't have time to answer right now, and then I'll forget about it until the next day. But I will get back to you eventually, because I do always try to make sure that I give you an answer, unless by some amazing miracle the channel just gets so big that I can't in no way have time to answer everybody. But right now, it's definitely doable. I appreciate all of the comments. You guys have some of the most wonderful compliments sometimes, and that just, you make me smile. I really, really do appreciate the fact that you all take the time to watch my videos. I think I'd said in the opening, no, maybe it was the outro. I don't know. So you may hear this again in a minute. But yeah, sorry, my mind just went blank. I'm listening to the girls. They're upstairs and I can hear them thumping around. So talking about how much I appreciate you all. Oh, the way that my channel has grown, that the subscriber count has grown, and even the number of people who are not subscribers who are watching these videos is just, it's really amazing to me. I just feel like, some little hick woman who's just having fun, playing around, doing with stuff, and why I've never felt like an artist, I guess. So it is very surprising to me that other people want to try to learn from something that I do. I've just never felt like I'm anywhere near the top of a game on anything. Although I do realize there are not many videos to choose from about this on YouTube. When I started wanting to paint like this and started looking for videos to teach me how to do it, I was very frustrated with how few videos there were on doing a wispy kind of technique. And so I have just chattered on and really told you guys nothing about what I'm doing, but it's pretty self-explanatory. I try to make sure that I come at the ink from all angles. You can blow it just from one direction, but it's a little bit harder to control. I like to kind of come around from the sides as well as the back. And on this one, I was kind of trying to keep that dark center line in it. And so you'll see I'll come at it from the other side too, but I'm trying to be really careful not to blow the ink all the way over that line. And when you get closer to that center line, you've got to be really careful if you want to keep that line there, if you still have a good bit of alcohol on your paper, because it will just, wash your line away. It'll erase that ink and just push it out to the other side. So it can be a little tricky sometimes keeping that line, but I like it in most of my paintings, especially ones like this that are turning out sort of in a line. I just kind of like to have that little trail down through there. And I said in the intro to the video that I was going to be using Pinata brass in this one. However, I forgot, and I think I mentioned that in the outro that I did on this, the day that I did the painting, that I just completely forgot to put it in where I needed to start with it. And, I realized it fairly quickly, but by then I didn't want to go back and start over. So I decided to just go ahead and finish this one without using the brass in it. And any of you who watch my videos know that there's brass in probably 90% or more of my videos. I love the look of the metallics in these paintings. Excuse me, my throat is so dry, y'all. I'm so sorry. Y'all are gonna hate listening to this video. Just trying to, kind of get that blend right here. Of where I don't completely lose the purple. I just want it lightly blended into the pink. One of the other things, if especially when you're trying to blend some colors together, is to be really careful to make sure you get it dry good before you go on and do the next part of it. And that helps keep your kind of little dam of dried ink built up there to help keep it from washing away. Oh, excuse me. To help keep it from washing away so easily when the alcohol does touch it. All right. So I was trying to think of questions that I've had. Someone was asking one day about the lines. How do I make these lines? Well, I mean, you can kind of see that's how you make the lines. It's just the direction that you blow the ink, and being careful not to push the alcohol back over top of that part so that you can kind of keep that little line in there, the little veins and things in there. And this is where it comes to an end, so I will leave you guys now to my outro. Alright, so I think I'm actually going to leave this like it is. I had planned on working in some of the pinata brass, but I forgot to start it when I needed it started, and so I just left it out thinking, well, at the end I may go back and use a fine liner brush and just, you can paint it along following these little lines, the sort of veins in the paint. I'm using a really very fine liner brush and it looks really good, but I actually kind of like this one without it. Normally I'm just all about having metallic in stuff, but so far I think I like this one the way it is. There's a couple of spots that I'm not in love with, but the more I mess with it, the more I'm going to mess it up. So I'm just going to leave it just like it is. And I absolutely want to say thank you guys so much for watching these videos. I am blown away. I'm getting up close to 900 subscribers as of this, which I realize, according to my granddaughters, well, that's nothing impressive. They watch people who have 5 million subscribers. But when I started this, simply because I belonged to an alcohol ink art Facebook group, and I had so many people asking me how I was doing what I was doing. And did I have videos? Did I have a YouTube channel they could watch? Well, let me tell you, I knew nothing about YouTube, period. Absolutely nothing. My granddaughters are getting ready to turn, one of them's getting ready to turn 9 in a week, and the other one's turning 10 in another month. And sadly, they had to teach me how to use YouTube. I mean, I knew how to find videos because I have watched a few. When I was getting started in doing this, I had watched a few videos, but as far as trying to make a video, get it edited and uploaded, I felt like the world's biggest idiot. So I'm not technologically stupid, at least not completely, but that was a little out of my comfort zone. I just have not done that before. So when I first started the channel, I really thought that, all right, well, I was just going to be blown away if I got 50 people that actually wanted to watch me paint. So, that equates to me with, okay, watching paint dry, which, yes, we all know how exciting that is. So, I cannot thank you guys enough. I love you all. I get some of the greatest comments. Your comments make me feel so good. And I appreciate those of you who have let me know a couple of things that I said or did that maybe were a little bit of a problem, or something that just needed to be changed or tweaked, or I do appreciate that, because if I'm doing something that is in some way offending somebody, I certainly want to know. But also, thank you, and I'm so sorry. I should have I've looked back at the comments to see which one of you guys said this. But thank you for the suggestion, whoever you are, viewer, for turning it horizontally so that you all could maybe see it bigger on the computer screen. So I hope that this works out a little better. You know, I changed the placement of my phone since I had to reset everything up anyway. So let me know if the way that this video is laid out works better for you guys, if you can see it better on the computer and things. Oh, excuse me. And I will put in the link to this hair dryer, so that even if you guys don't want this, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And those of you in, you know, the UK and Canada, I've gotten messages from people in other countries, you know, so you can see a little better what I'm talking about, and possibly find one in your home country, since this did come from Amazon US. I don't know if it makes a difference, you know, if you guys can get them on Amazon in the countries that you live in. But just, I mean, anything works. Any hair dryer works. It doesn't even have to have a cool setting. For me, I like the cool setting better, because I like to have a little bit more airflow. And the cool setting on this has more airflow. When I use heat, unless I use the heavyweight Yupo, it will destroy other types of Yupo. It just, I mean, it's like warps it up, and it does not go back flat. On this Grafix craft plastic, now it will start warping it a little bit, but it lays back out flat once it cools. So I mean, but I just like the cool setting, because I don't like to try and work on the paper when it gets warped, because then my paint goes, or my ink goes where I don't want it to go. So anyway, keep on giving me your comments, guys. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. I hope that you were able to learn something from this. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. It just thrills me to get to look at this channel statistics and see, oh my gosh, there's been 5 more people subscribed last night, or look, I've got comments and people actually like it. So, you know, keep it coming. Click like, click subscribe, and you'll be notified whenever I do upload a new video. Keep it coming, guys. Let me know if there's anything you want me to do different, you want me to do more of. You know, I know there's different types of paintings that you can do with alcohol ink, and I'm not real good at taking orders about, well, I want this, I'd like to see one on this particular shape. Well, I can try to do that, but you know, as I've said before, the ink has a mind of its own a lot of times, and so I can start out wanting to do some particular thing, and then I end up with just something totally different, because the ink doesn't want to cooperate, so I just have to do what the ink wants rather than what I want it to do. So, alright, well, all of you all, I love you all, and I will do my best to get another video uploaded sometime before too much longer, and I will see you all soon. Bye!